Seeing how the War for Cybertron Transformers series is about to be coming to a close within the next few months, I'm looking forward to what is coming next. I watched a few Transformer commentators like Rodimus Primal, and he had a rundown about the roundtable event that Hasbro had a few days ago, and how they want, what their plans for the future are regarding like keeping the scale consistent in the upcoming lines, which I like because it kind of drove me nuts when I got back into collecting a couple years ago, and they would have like Optimus Prime from Combiner Wars be one size, but then they would have Megatron be like almost double his size. It just seems like the scaling was, it was just odd, that you would have like Starscream, which would almost be as the same height as Megatron, but then you would have like Ironhide, who would only go up to like the guy's waist, if I remember correctly. It's just like it was really kind of, it just rubbed me the wrong way. That's why I'm kind of enjoying how the scaling and the sizes are for the current War for Cybertron series that's been coming out for the last, roughly 3 years now. But like I said, the War for Cybertron series is just about over, and I thought I would share with you some figures that I would like to see make a return in the upcoming lines. Now, I am aware that there are like third-party outlets that do knockoffs and that kind of stuff, and that's okay. But I'm talking about like figures that Hasbro makes, and I'm pretty sure that they made some of these figures I'm going to mention may have been released in lines that were out before the War for Cybertron, or War for Cybertron series, or the what was it? The Combiner Wars, Titans Return, and Power of the Primes, because I got back into the collecting hobby of them back when Combiner Wars first came out. But here are my list of figures that I would like to see. So let's switch this over. Okay, now some of these figures are going to be part of groups, and if you see just one, I'm going to include all of that specific group, because I probably had them. I had them when I was growing up, when I was younger, and I just didn't want to try to put a whole bunch of images that would represent one group. So for the first couple that you're going to see here, I've been hearing rumors on and off that they're going to have a Blaster coming out. Blaster could be in Studio Series 86, and it's less likely that he'd be in Kingdom. So you're basically looking at a chance that he could be in Studio Series 86, but I haven't heard anything from Hasbro, I should say. So as of right now, to me, that's just a rumor. Like, as much as I would like to see him, I don't think he's going to be coming out. I actually purchased Siege and an Earthrise Soundwave, two duplicates. And the whole, goal is to, when I have some free time, basically repaint them, try to, see if I can find like a suitable replacement head for a blaster head, and just kind of just do a little Frankenstein mashup, because if they're not going to give us one, I might as well make one and put some of my love that I have for the property and make it my own, The next one I would love to see, now this is just a representation of all of this group, and these are the Pretenders. The one you see here is Carnivac. This was like, I think I only had like 2 or 3 of the Pretenders, but I definitely had Carnivac. I got this one as a gift from my father back, I think it was back in like the late 80s, early 90s, whenever the Pretenders were coming out. I liked how it was like a wolf type animal with a wolf type transformer, inside of it. It was kind of like one of those mamushka doll, or I think that's what, or nesting, Russian nesting dolls. I guess that's what they could be called. I know that it changed into a robot, but I just like the thought of a wolf inside of another wolf. That could have been inside of another wolf. It kind of never ends. But I like the whole idea of the Pretenders. I understand that a lot of people didn't, and hey, that's cool with them. But like I said, these are just my wants. What I would hope that they would re-release or release. Period. I would love to see a Carnivac with that's updated to the standards of like what they've done for the War for Cybertron series. That would be freaking awesome. I'll be honest, I thought that I didn't think it could get better than Titan's Return Soundwave, because that was like the first Soundwave. That was actually the first Soundwave I ever got. I never had a chance to get Soundwave back in the 80s when G1 was still out. So I didn't think it could get any better than what Titan's Return Soundwave was. And boy, did they blow me away with the two representations of Soundwave in Siege and Earthrise. Next up, we have Crankcase. Now, this is a representation of all the trigger bots, and I think they're called trigger cons. Basically, the whole idea of this subline was figures that had quick springing weapons attached to them, and I actually had all of these. So I would love to see them bring the trigger bots and trigger cons back. Bring them into the new millennium. I guess you could say. I'm not sure. I don't even think they've ever done anything like that regarding the trigger bots and trigger cons. But these figures actually hold a special place in my heart, because when they first came out, I was just starting kindergarten, and I will admit, I was kind of scared of, it was my first day in kindergarten, and when that first day, kindergarten actually didn't start till like 1 p.m. if I remember correctly. Well, my mom took me to the mall that we lived nearby, and they had a transformer there. It was a trigger bot named Override, if I remember correctly. It was actually like a motorcycle, and that figure helped me through the first few days of kindergarten. And as I got more and more used to kindergarten, I actually stopped bringing that figure with me. It's like you finally adjust. You don't need that safety blanket anymore. Now, I know a lot of people's going to say, well, it had the gimmick of, spring-loaded weapons. And I understand that, whereas Crankcase is concerned, his weapons it was like a little wind-up motor, but you'd actually, if I remember correctly, I can't recall how you would wind it up, but it wasn't just like a press a button and they instantly spring out. In Crankcase's case, for example, I think that you press a button and you hear like and then after God, it's hard to really describe what the sound was like. But after a few seconds, then the guns would pop out where the windshields are. And then, but with Override, basically his guns would instantly flip out where his hands are. But a lot of people are going to say, well, they had that gimmick, That would not make much sense nowadays. And I understand where you're coming from when you say that, or when critics would say something like that. But I like to think that I got both, Twin Twist and what was the other one? Twin Twist and I can't recall the other one, but they were the Throttle Bots? I think that's what they were called. Hold on, let me check here. Let me check real quick. Let's see here. Oh, Topspin. It was Topspin and Twin Twist. And let's see here. They were known as, let's see here. What were they referred to as? Let's see here. Jump Starters. I'm sorry. They're known as Jump Starters. But I have both of them from the Titans Return line. And they were actually, in my opinion, they were like two of the standout figures of that line, at least to me, but as my opinion. So they did not bring over that gimmick where you could wind them back and then they would race down your little table or whatever and then transform. They were just normal Transformers, but they were still the characters. I am willing to forego them dropping the gimmick of the quick release built-in weapons, at least if we get the figures. That's what I would like to see. I would like to see the figures themselves, and just give us the weapons that look accurate to what the figures had in G1, and I'd be happy. It's kind of the same way with the Monster Bots, if I remember correctly. That's what their name was. Like Grotesque. I had Grotesque as G1, and I got him again in was it Titans Return? I think it was Titans Return. It was a special Amazon order, if I remember correctly. And yeah, he did not have the fire breath, it's supposed to be sparks, but they call it fire breath, if I remember correctly. And I was okay with that, but it was because it was just the thought I had that figure. Sometimes gimmicks are nice, but if you can have that figure, I think that's what makes it even better. But yeah, so like I said, all the Trigger Bots, all the Trigger Cons would be awesome. I'd love to see, once again, I know I sound like kind of like a broken record, but I would love to see what they would look like brought nearly 30 years into the future and see what they look like. Next, it's another figure that is real close and near and dear to me. It's Landfill. Landfill, he's a dump truck in G1. And I got him for my mother as a Christmas gift. And for the longest of times, I'll be honest, I thought that I received a defective figure. Now, the reason you're probably wondering, well, why do you say that, Jeff? Why do you think the figure was defective? Because when you transformed him, if you did not read the instructions, which I did not, I'll be honest. I mean, who really reads the instructions? I am more for the joy of just learning to transform them from robot to vehicle and then back. I cannot make heads or tails of the instructions. I prefer to do it on my own. Well, I would transform Landfill from his dump truck into robot, and it looked like his arms were always backwards. Well, I think it was like a year, maybe two later, I was visiting my grandmother on my father's side of the family, and I had Landfill with me, and I don't know what persuaded me to do it, but I found out you could actually switch, or you could rotate his arms around so it looked normal. And oh my god, like that, when I found that out, that was like a moment of bliss for me. It's like my figure was actually not broken. I did not receive a broken figure. It was just me being stupid, in other words. Actually, I'm going to be right back. I'm going to see if I can find a transformation video so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Be right back. Okay, everybody, I am back. I have come across a video from Transformers, I guess you could say like blogger. His name is Patriot Prime Reviews, Patriot Prime Reviews. And I looked up, oh god, what was his name again? I just said it. Oh shit, what was it? God, I'm not all here. Oh, Landfill, sorry. And Mr. Patriot Primes, he actually has a video, so let's watch that. I fast forwarded to the beginning of the segment.
My reviews of the Generation 1 Decepticon Double Target Masters were such a big hit last week, I've decided to go ahead and review the Generation 1 Autobot Double Target Masters. Now, the big difference between the two teams, other than the fact that one was Decepticon, one was Autobot, was the Decepticon Double Target Masters all transformed into military-style vehicles, a tank, a helicopter, and a jet. The Autobot Double Target Masters transformed into construction vehicles, a dump truck, a cement mixer, and a backhoe. So the Autobot we're going to review in this review is Generation 1 Landfill. Now, Landfill did not appear in the animated television show at all. He only appeared in his television commercial very briefly. Now, his only appearance in the Marvel Comics series was in issue number 60, and it was a blink and you miss it panel. Right there. That is the only appearance of Landfill in the comics. So much for the history of this guy. So welcome to Patriot Prime Reviews 1988 Double Target Master Landfill. Now, as I mentioned earlier, Landfill is a double Target Master, meaning that he comes with two Target Master figures. He comes with Flintlock and Silencer, which we'll go over right now. Flintlock is a nice blue, tan, and yellow Target Master. He's got some nice sculpted details. I like the missile rack there on his shoulders, but like all double Target Master figures, he's just a little molded plastic statue. His feature is he turns into a double-barreled weapon. And there you have Flintlock. Next up is Silencer, a yellow and brown Target Master. He's got some molded details on him, but I really don't like his paint applications. A lot of the details get hid. He's just brown and yellow. He looks like a mustard-covered hot dog. Anyway, he turns into a double-barrel blaster as well. Of course, the blasters can in turn hook together to form a quad barrel weapon, or turn him around. Oh, it's nice and tight. Turn into a rifle. So there you have the two Target Masters, Flintlock and Silencer. Moving on to Landfill himself, as you can see, he transforms into a tan and brown dump truck. He's got some nice rolling wheels, big tires, some chrome around the rims, which actually, after all these years, still looks pretty good. He's got a lot of nice molded detailing on him, but very sparse paint applications. The only paint you really have is on the windows. But as you can see, the molded details, the lights, the grille, the doors, the panels, everything looks really well. Now, unlike the other Generation 1 dump trucks, you can't put anything in his bed. I think that's what they call them. I'm not into construction, so forgive me. But this is due to his very unique transformation. Landfill can also wield his Target Masters in vehicle mode as well, just by plugging them into the holes on either side of him. So here we have one and the other. So now we have a very well armed and ready for battle dump truck. So speaking of transformation, let's go ahead and get Landfill into robot mode. First thing you want to do is take the bottom and swing down, forming the legs. Then this bottom half here you're going to flip up. That of course forms the feet. The next thing you want to do is turn him around and grab the bed of the truck and split those apart just like so. You'll see the robot head right there. Now what you're going to do is move this whole section forward like that. Bring these sections down, forming the shoulders. The bed of the truck is actually going to flip around, revealing the arms. Do that on both sides. And then you have arms there on a nice clicking ratchet. And there you have Landfill in robot mode. All of the collars, the tan and the brown, carry over in this mode, though he does now have a little blue on the face sculpt. And that is a fairly decent face sculpt too, if we can zoom in. So not too bad. All one collar, it's all that light blue. Landfill, of course, can wield both of his double target masters. Flintlock. And silencer. And he has nice ratchets in his shoulders.
Okay, everybody, that was basically just a quick rundown of what I was talking about. Yeah, I cannot believe I was that stupid when I was younger. I did not realize that his arms would rotate like that. So, like, but you learn, but once I found out about that, boy, was I in heaven when I found out that, my figure was not broken. But like I said, I would love to see a lot of these figures that you don't see or that you heard that they have given the same name to other characters. That's all cool, but I don't have those characters, and I'm thinking of like G1. These are G1 figures I would like to see. But yeah, I would love to see, Landfill brought, into the modern age, and even make him a little bit bigger. I always think it's kind of weird when you have a vehicle that's like a dump truck, and other vehicles are actually bigger. Like you have let's go with Optimus Prime, for example. Not with the trailer, but just the truck part itself. You would think a dump truck would be bigger than the cab section of a truck, or if you want to go even further along the line, let's go with let's go with like Blue Streak or Smoke Screen. If I remember correctly, I never had smoke the brothers. I think that's what they're referred to as. I never had them, but I'm pretty sure that they were actually a little bit longer than what Landfill was. And it's like really, it just seems weird when you have like I said, when you have vehicles that are, in actual application that are enormous, and vehicles that are smaller are actually bigger than those vehicles in Transformers. So it's like, it always just kind of makes me chuckle. The one thing I hope that they do maintain, if they ever did bring Landfill into the future, is number one, bring the 2 Target Masters. I'll be honest, I didn't even recall that it had Target Masters. I don't even know what happened to mine. But the one thing that I hope that they do bring in is when it comes to transformations, like do it like they did with the original, where you have to rotate the arms, because that would be like an extra cherry on the sundae for me, just to help me remember, oh my god, you're a fucking idiot, Jeff. Okay, next we got Quick Mix, which is actually just another one of the, it's part of the double dealers, not double dealers, the duo, duo Target Masters. So I don't know why I added him there, but when I say, when I was talking about Landfill, you could also have added Quick Mix and Scoop, I think that's what it was called, to that whole section. I'm just talking about Landfill because that was the only one I had. But finally, I would like to see Skids. Now, I've heard that, that there's been rumors for years that they're going to be doing another Skids. And for all I know, I think they did do Skids for, I think it was Thrilling 30. But that was before when I started collecting. And nowadays, Thrilling 30 figures are so freaking expensive. And I understand it's because, they're no longer being produced and stuff. But still, it's like, yeah, are you really wanting to pay $99 for one figure? It's like, it'd be nice to have it, but yeah, I'll just wait and hope that down the line that they'll re-release Skids. And I mean, if we can have endless Optimus Primes, which, do not get me wrong, I love Optimus Prime. Optimus Prime and Megatron, they were like the backbones of my youth, even though I didn't have Megatron. I had Optimus Prime though, but I didn't have Megatron. Uh, if they can re-release, and re-release numerous forms of Megatron and Optimus, hell, look at how many versions of Optimus Prime and Megatron there are in Siege or War for Cybertron series. Let's say, I mean, for Optimus you have Optimus Prime, you have I think it's called like alternate universe Optimus, but basically he's dead. You have the 35th anniversary Optimus Prime. You have the Earthrise Prime, which is like the Earth mode of Optimus. Then you have the re-release, basically repackaging of Optimus for Kingdom. And then for Megatron, oh my god, you have so many forms of Megatron. It's like, I'll be honest, I love Megatron. But do we need that many? I mean, I only have like 3 versions of Megatron. I have the Siege Megatron, I have Earthrise Megatron, and then I got the Walmart exclusive Netflix inspired War for Cybertron Megatron, and the reason I got him was because basically he came with some unique target masters or battle masters or whatever they're called. That was mainly the reason I got him. But I mean, if we can go, I would be honest, I would not mind having there be an absence of figures that we've been bombarded with over the last roughly 3 years in this War for Cybertron line. I'm willing to forego having another Optimus or another Megatron or hell even another Starscream, because to me these figures actually are pretty good. But that's just my opinion. That's just a lone collector's opinion. I don't claim to speak for anybody. If I see another Optimus or Megatron, I'll look at them and then I'll compare them to like what I have. And I'll be honest, I'm kind of already enjoying what I have. Yeah. You're probably wondering, well, why did I get both like the Earthrise and the Siege version of those figures? And to be honest, it's just I wanted one that's Cybertronian and then another that's Earth-based. That way I can say I have them both. Now, the only time I'd probably break that rule in the upcoming line, or in the future, whatever the next series is going to be, would be if they ever released Megatron as a gun, but we know that'll never happen. If they released him as a gun, then I'd probably buy him, just for the fact that he transforms into what he originally was. Nothing against what they have now, but I would love to have a handgun version of Megatron. You can even put on the orange cap on the barrel just to show that it's a toy. It's just the thought of having something from my youth that I did not actually have. It would help, just like I said, that inner child, When I got another Optimus, I mean, back, let's see, the first Optimus I got when I started recollecting Transformers back in Combiner Wars was Combiner Wars Optimus, and to be honest, he really didn't impress me that much. And then I got Power Master Optimus Prime in Titan's Return, and I'll be totally honest, I'm not a fan at all with that one. And then I got Optimus Prime in Power of the Primes, and he's awesome, but to me he's just too big. And then I got the Siege Optimus, and to me that was like, wow, that was fucking awesome. I liked how that one was. And then they upped it with Earthrise, and I'm like, that's cool. I actually bought several of the Earthrise Optimus Primes just so I can do some recolors and decos of them. One of them I made, it was like one of the first times I did a custom repaint. And it shows it's not perfect, but it's my take on Nemesis Prime. It looks like shit, but to me it's Nemesis Prime, you know. But that is it for this episode number 1 of not Star Trek, episode number 1 of Transformers Discussion. Basically, I was just talking about figures I would like to see that would be brought into the, new generation of Transformers that were from G1. So if you're watching this, let me know, what do you think? Do you think any of these figures, would you like to see any of these figures? Do you hate these figures? Do you have any fond memories? Let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment in the comment section below. However, due to high level of trolls right now, comments have been, you can post a comment, but it needs to be approved. It's mainly because, like I said, of trolls. Trolls are real active today, and for some reason they're going after me, even though I haven't really done anything to anyone. So, but until next time, this is Jeff, aka Jeekers, with Transformers Discussions. Episode number 2 will be talking about what I would like to see aesthetics wise when it comes to packaging next, in the upcoming product lines. And also, I'll be covering some Beast Wars, but I'm not sure when that'll be. That may be episode 3, but next episode, which may be pretty soon, will be episode 2, which will cover the boxes and the little gimmicks, that the packages come with. So until next time, also, I keep wanting to end this video, but I keep remembering things. I'm also going to post a link to that landfill video from Patriot Primes. So if you've never watched Patriot Primes, hey, go watch him. He seems to be pretty decent. And one thing that he's known for is apparently he is also a war veteran. So that it earns double points with me because, mad respect, But until next time, this is Jeff, aka Jeekers. Jeff, aka Jeekers. Wishing you all a peaceful evening. Transform and roll out.